was a guy that just kept his, he came out throwing bombs but didn't have that much defense. Now his defense is getting better. He's moving his shoulders. I don't say head. Your head's on top of your shoulders. I always say moving his shoulders. He's moving it. He's working the body, putting his punch together. You know, he is a knockout puncher, but he's showing me a lot more of being there. And he's got the right weight class right now.
Yes.
He's been dabbing up to 35-30, 35-30. He finally found that 130 is his mark. And this is where I believe he can make his mark at 130.
There is Paulino making his way into the ring tonight, trying to get win number 16 on his record. Take a look here at the tail of the tape. Both fighters coming in at 129 at yesterday's weigh-in. No significant advantage, but you look at those knockouts. 13 for Paulino, 11 for D'Angelo Keys. Expect some fireworks in this one. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's scheduled for 8 rounds in the super featherweight division. Let's send it back into the ring with our ring announcer, Margaret Presta, for the official introductions.
This bout is scheduled for 8 rounds in the super featherweight division. Our judges scoring the bout ringside are Tom Schreck, Max DeLuca, and John McCackey. Our referee in charge of the action inside the ring is Ricky Gonzalez. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks, weighing in at 129 pounds with a professional record of 17 wins, 3 losses with 11 knockouts. From Houston, Texas, welcome D'Angelo King D'Lo Keys. His opponent, fighting from across the ring, out of the red corner, wearing the white and red trunks, weighing in at 129 pounds, with an undefeated record of 15 wins, 0 losses, with 13 wins, coming from way up knockouts from nearby New London, Connecticut. Give it up for Alejandro El Abustador Paulino.
Gentlemen, you receive instructions in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch them up.
We're about to get underway here on Swerve Combat. Michael Parenti joined by Sucre Ray Oliveira. Alejandro Paulino in the white trunks taking on D'Angelo Keys in the black. And Ray, we mentioned that Keys is coming off that bad loss 8 months ago. I'm always curious to see how a fighter recovers. If a fighter can truly recover and turn the page from that loss, you can always sometimes tell early on.
You're definitely right. And I also say this is a fight he wants to take with Paulino, how hard he hits. The guy has an 8-pack.
Yes. It's a very tough fight to take coming off a tough loss with a guy who's got 13 knockouts. And you made a good point too, Ray. Paulino now at 130, I think exclusively campaigning at that weight. He had a very easy run of it early in his career, fighting at 130, 135, 140, depending on the opponent. But this is where he wants to be going forward at 130.
Definitely. You know, all fighters, they try different. Oh, Paulino is right.
He is wailing
where he last saw him.
On Keys right now, yeah. Keys is trying to push him off and find some distance. Paulino hard charging as he typically does. And Keys just kind of spinning around here, trying to get his footing. Very aggressive early on for Paulino. Trying to get knockout 14. Nice body shot. Coming back over the top of the right hand.
I said, fighters, they first come, they try different weight class, up and down, up and down, up and down. Then they settle for one.
Right.
I think the weight class he should settle for right now is 130. He's working beautiful at 130. He's the bigger guy, he's the stronger guy. It's working for him. And
he's 5'9", he's tall, he's rangy at 130, and like you said, he has the power.
I don't think he has an ounce, 1% fat on him right now.
When you start to step up to 35, 40, then you start to run into guys who are bigger than you, and that's where things can kind of go sour. So when you start to really step up the competition against a fighter like D'Angelo Keys, for example, who's got 20 pro fights, you want to be in the weight class that's right for you. It makes the most sense, and that's where Paulino is now. Hey, Ray, we had the pleasure of seeing him in some of those transition fights, too. You remember back in 2022 against Andrew Rogers in Rhode Island, he got knocked down in that fight, came back at the stoppage, and then right here in Mohegan last year against Brandon Adrogo, got hurt in that fight, came back and got the victory. So we've seen him face some adversity despite some of those easier fights early on, and he's responded to the challenge.
He definitely responded, and he's definitely listening to what I've been saying about him not moving that head, because he came back a couple of last fights we saw him in, and he's moving that head. He's working more on his defense. He's keeping his hands up high, and he's not just coming for the knockout. With this fight here, he's coming out for the knockout.
It seems that way. He had a big knockout victory in his last fight in August right here at Mohegan on the CES Summer Heat card, knocking out Julian Aristule.
And that's what happens with a lot of these young guys. They get the big knockout record, they're knocking on everybody, and they continue to come out just throwing them bombs, not realizing that the competition is getting better. So as they get better, you got to work on your craft also.
And we've really seen the ebb and flow here as we get into the final seconds of round number 1. We saw him struggle in Rhode Island against Jonathan Perez, a fighter who hadn't been really going the distance in a lot of fights, but now has come back with 4 consecutive knockouts, and he had a big knockout win over Derek Murray, who's a very good fighter at 130. So you sometimes never know what you're going to see when Paulino gets in that ring. What you do know is that he's always going to be aggressive and come forward.
Yes, that round there I gave to Paulino. You know, he came out and did what he was supposed to, what we expected. He came out throwing the power, backing his opponent up. You know, as you can see right here, he's being a more aggressive, more stronger fighter. He's just throwing bombs, landing hard, sitting down. I would like to see him get back to what we last saw him doing. Work on moving, work on getting some rounds in here. Sometimes that knockout just don't come, and he's keeping his head up tall. And I don't want to see him get hit. We saw that he can get hit, he can go down, but I don't want to see him get hit no more and go down.
Alejandro Paulino with the tutelage of the Big Six Boxing Academy in his corner. That includes Jason Big Six Estrada, the former Olympian, and his father, Roland Estrada, who've brought many of the best pros in New England to the table, many of them under the guidance of CES, including Jason Estrada himself. And they've done a really nice job with Paulino. They got him a lot of wins early on, and then they took a little bit of a break when they saw some fatigue set in. They did the right thing, and then they gave him a few months off, and he's come back even stronger. So they've done a great job managing his career, and he's only 25 years old. He's got a long way ahead of him, and he's already got 15 fights. This is fight number 16. You really don't see that in this day and age. It's harder to get fights, and it's harder to get guys to agree to come to the table.
Paulino is one of the fighters that, you know, I'm one of those old men on a rocking chair, and I'm always saying these fighters don't fight enough once or twice a year. Paulino is fighting constantly, and that break he took, he needed that break to recuperate and rest the body. It's not just the fights you're having constantly, it's being in the gym. He took a break from the gym and relaxed.
Again, we mentioned 15 fights in just under 3 years, a very active work rate. Had 2 fights at the Park Theater in 2023 under the CES banner. And the last 4 have all come by knockout, so he's got a nice little streak going.
He's looking good. Like I said, I just need a little bit more work with him. He's walking in with no jab and throwing that bomb. And his opponent, Keys, is tagging off on that. Paulino's winning the rounds, but Keys is building up momentum, and that's what you don't want.
It is a very interesting approach. You wonder if he's maybe too focused on the knockout and not working to set it up. That's something that you saw earlier in his career, I think, against the lesser competition. He didn't have to go in there and work as hard for it or have to set it up. The knockouts just came.
It was lesser opponents. You know, you go in there, you do what you're supposed to, get the knockout there. But like I said, as your wins go up, the opponents get better.
At this level, it's harder to do that.
Exactly, and I don't see a lot of 135 pounders knocking out everybody but Roberto Duran. Is he close to that? I don't know.
That would be something if you get to that level. And now Paulino's starting to let the hands go here a little bit toward the end of round number 2. I give Keys a lot of credit. He looked a little shaky in that first round, but he's settled in a little bit nicer here and at least found a better pace. That can be very daunting when Paulino comes charging in the first 45 seconds of a fight, and you're still trying to get your bearings, but Keys is hanging in there. Final seconds here of round number 2. Again, this one's scheduled for 8.
Paulino's definitely winning. He's hitting the bigger punches. He's backing up his opponent, but like I said, Keys is picking momentum. He's seeing something in there. He is landing with combinations. Just that Paulino won't stop coming forward.
Oh, Keys missing wildly with that big looping overhand right. Great action here in round number 2. Don't go anywhere. We've got more on Swerve Combat. Here we go, round number 3 about to get underway. CES Boxing bringing you Winter Brawl 2024 live on Swerve Combat. Michael Parenti joined by Sucre Ray Oliveira. We've been bringing you all the action ringside throughout the night. We thank you for joining us. Okay, we're just getting started. Still 3 more fights to go, all of which will be contested for WBC titles. So a lot of gold on the line here as we get toward the meat of this card. But right now you're getting treated to another banger here at Super Featherweight. Alejandro Paulino in the white trunks taking on D'Angelo Keys in the black. Paulino trying to keep his unbeaten record intact.
I'm sure Keys from Texas have been in wars like this. How many times do you want to have wars like this in the gym or in a fight? Like I said, Paulino is doing what he's supposed to do, but I see Keys picking up momentum. But how long can either one go? Can Paulino keep coming forward, throwing those bombs, and Keys grab momentum and just outbox him?
Off to your right, D.
Paulino stopped him in his tracks with a nice combo early in the round. And we mentioned Keys coming off a tough loss in his last bout 8 months ago and stepping right back in there. Not even taking a tune-up or a warm-up, nothing, just going right back into the fire against a 15-0 fighter. So Keys is coming to fight. I think this is make or break for him.
I like the enthusiasm. You know, he came right back. Maybe he needed a rest before that. Taking a tough like this with Paulino could hurt you physically and mentally.
Sure. At 17-3, 27 years of age, I think he also feels that this could be a pivotal fight, and why not take the risk as Keys goes crashing to the canvas.
Paulino just walked over him, dropped him, and walked over him.
Ricky Gonzalez administering the count. Keys just ran into a flurry there and lost his footing, and Paulino just delivered the hammer. And now Paulino coming out super aggressive here with 1 minute to go in round 3. Nice little short right by Paulino. We'll see how hurt Keys is, if at all. If Paulino can close this one out, still a lot of time, 45 seconds in round 3. Keys fighting back, Paulino catching with that quick left hook on the break.
I think by Keys staying there and rubbing him is the wrong idea.
Yes.
Paulino is the stronger fighter. I mean, he has 13 knockouts out of 15 wins. You don't want to be there. You want to box.
And while you want to give him credit for having the heart to go in there, it may not be the smartest strategy, as you mentioned. Oh, big right and left followed up by Paulino.
He's falling right into Paulino's trap. You want to rock and roll? Let's rock and roll.
Paulino's got Keys backed up again against the ropes. Final 10 seconds. Keys looks a little bit wobbly here, and he's about to go down again. And there he goes. Closing seconds of round 3. Keys gets back to his feet. Ricky Gonzalez will administer the count. And we'll see if he lets this one continue and go to the next round. And that's the bell for round number 3. 2 knockdowns to Paulino as he starts to pull away. Keys obviously in a lot of trouble here, but he will get the full minute to rest between rounds. That could be very tough sledding too, coming out into round number 4 after just getting knocked down with the bell. And we're going to see the replay here, Ray.
You see Paulino. He is sitting still, and he's throwing left hook, right hook. And Keys just wants to stay there and take the punishment. I don't think he's doing the right plan right now. He should be boxing. You don't want to stay there taking these punches from Paulino.
Paulino, again, you see him wobbling Keys toward the end of the round and catching him again, crashing into the canvas. And perhaps Paulino just ran out of time in round number 3. If he had another 35 or 40 seconds, this fight may be over. So we'll see here. You see Dr. Sal Alessi, the ringside physician and neurologist, keeping a close eye on D'Angelo Keys in the corner to make sure that everything is a go as we get into round 4. So nothing really guaranteed yet.
No, if I was a ref,
okay.
even when Keys comes out, I would still ask him,
right,
are you okay? And take a step to the left and step to the right. If you're still wobbling, fight's over.
Dr. Alessi's still in the ring here. As the bell sounds, we're going to call time and he's going to check. So the fight in the round officially not underway yet. And Dr. Alessi's been a ringside physician here at Mohegan Sun for a number of years. He's going to give him the green light. We'll see how much Keys has left in the tank, but he saw enough to let it keep going. And we'll see if Paulino can do what he does best and close this thing out. He's off to a very good start here through 3 rounds. Winter Brawl living up to its name tonight, Ray.
I don't want to brawl with Paulino.
No, you don't want to get in the ring with him. 130 pounds and he can absolutely bang.
They don't want him to stay right there. They want him on his toes and save himself.
Yeah.
To your right. There you go. Take it out, G. Take it out. Keep touching.
He's still throwing, still letting those hands go.
There you go. Good shot. Keep touching, G.
Of course, the more aggressive you are, the more risk you run of getting caught by Paulino on the way in. He's a very good counterpuncher, as we've seen, Ray.
Paulino just sits down and bends his knees. He could get him out of here with a 2-punch combination, if not one. He's waiting for that one big punch to land. Almost
nice shot there by Keys. Yeah. Well, Keys still hanging in here. And look, he's got 20 pro fights under his belt. He's been down this road before and certainly knows what to do. We know it's always easier said than done, but a veteran like Keys can certainly hang and bounce back as well as anybody. Halfway through round number 4. Paulino, I will say this much, I'll give him credit for being patient here in this round and not trying to do too much early on.
No, every fight after round they take off. They try to take this round off to pick it up the next, but still Keys is in front of him. Just get hit with those combinations. He should be on his toes. With Paulino sitting down, as I said. Landing a big right hand to Paulino.
Keys landed a nice clean shot of his own there too. And he's still fighting, but here comes Paulino now, 3-4 punch combo.
The thing is, when you land the big shot on Paulino, he comes right back.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh, you hit me? I'm going to hit you back with 2 more.
And that's certainly tough from Keys' perspective when you're giving him everything you have and he just keeps coming forward, walking through it, and then landing 3 or 4 of his own. It can be daunting physically and mentally. 36 seconds to go in round 4, and here comes Paulino again. A nice 2-punch combo.
Walking him down.
Yes. 20 seconds to go in round 4. He's just trying to spin out of the way and survive this round. Paulino on the attack once again as the final bell's about to sound. Keys swinging wildly and missing, and Paulino just laying on 2 more shots there right before the bell. Another very good round there for Paulino.
It definitely was a great round for Paulino. I mean, Keys looked better.
Yes.
If there's a way of looking better by getting punched enough like that. But Paulino's just doing what he wants to do. He's just walking him down, and he's just throwing a big left hook or right hand. I can't see this fight probably going 1 more round. If it does, my hat's go off to Keys.
I think you're right, Ray. I think there is a case where this could be one of those fights where it's stopped between rounds, where either the corner or the ringside doctor said, you've had enough.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, his last fight Keys had was a great, tough fight. taking punishment again like this if you want to continue that on a young man's body or brain.
Can that sometimes play into the mind of the corner, knowing what you experienced and went through your last fight? Will they try to protect you next time out if you're taking that damage? Yeah.
Certain corners.
Not all.
Corners that know, that have been around.
Yeah.
You know, not saying Key's corner doesn't know that.
We don't know. Right, we don't know.
They probably do.
Round number 5 underway. Once again, this one's scheduled for 8 rounds in the super featherweight division. Michael Parenti joined by Sucre Ray Oliveira, bringing you all the action on Swerve Combat. Thank you for spending your Saturday night with us. We've still got 3 more big fights to go. Right now, Alejandro Paulino trying to put the finishing touches on what's been a very good performance here against the 20-fight veteran D'Angelo Keys out of Houston, Texas. Paulino in the white and red trunks, putting on another master class, as we've seen time and time again, trying to run his record to 16-0.
Every time we step up for Paulino, he makes it look like we got to step up again for his next fight. He just comes out and blows his opponents away. I mean, Keys is a tough opponent, fighting his butt off, coming out. But Paulino's it's like he's doing what he wants to do.
And I think that progression in Paulino's career, a lot of credit goes to both the promoter, Jimmy Birchfield, and of course his management team, Roland Estrada, Jason Estrada, the Big Six Boxing Academy. They've moved him along very well. They haven't put him in too far ahead of his prime or allowed him to bite off more than he can chew. They put him in with the right fights, the right step-ups as he lands another shot there against Keys. And like you said, Ray, he passes every test with flying colors. Even when he faces some adversity, he manages to come back from that and still get the job done. And that's what you like to see, 15 fights. You don't want 15 easy fights off the rip. You want a couple of tough ones in there, and he's had those.
15 easy ones, you don't want 15 tough ones. You don't want 50-50.
He's had a good mix.
Yes.
Probably a 70-30 mix, and that's just the right progression for a fighter who's 25 years of age and still learning the culture and still learning everything about fighting in New England. But he's done a great job and continues to do a great job here in round 5.
I mean, the fighters that we've seen today, we got a mixture of ages, older, younger, but they're all at the right spot right now where they could do something in this game and make some money and get a belt around their waist. They're being promoted and managed the correct and right way.
Well, interestingly enough, you have 3 titles on the line tonight at the top of this card, and perhaps next time out, maybe Alejandro Paulino's shot at a WBC regional title, a United States title. I think it's in the cards for him, like it has for many other fighters.
He definitely does. He needs a belt around that 8-pack he got there.
And that, you know, Ray, as well as anybody, WBC belt, even a U.S. belt, a U.S. NBC silver title, it puts you on the radar.
It definitely does. You know, people go, there's too many belts out there. There's not enough belts out there that all these fighters have. It makes you proud to put a belt around your waist, WBC, you know, lineage, or Spanish WBC belt, or lightweight. It gives you something special to do.
Five rounds in the books. We've got more to come. Let's send it to commercial. We'll be back with more.
You gotta go now. Let's go. Come on now.
And it's just about time for round number 6. So D'Angelo Keys has survived what seemed like it could be a quick ending to this fight, and he's here and still standing after 5 rounds.
Which gives him a lot of credit.
He's hung in there nicely, Ray. I know he had that 2 knockdown round. I believe it was round 4. And there was some question as to whether they would let the fight continue, but they did, and he got through 5, and now he's here standing in round 6.
Yes.
Didn't absorb as much damage in 5, so perhaps he can go a couple more and maybe even go the distance, but he takes a big right hand there. And now Paulino on the attack again early on.
I think Paulino just took a round off to regenerate himself and give his fans and ourselves another round. Another great round.
And we'll see now if he turns it back up to level 10 here in round number 6. Once again, you're joining us on Swerve Combat. Michael Parenti, Sucre Ray Oliveira, bringing you all the action ringside from Mohegan Sun Arena. Big right hand by Keys.
Keys had the sneaky right hand. He stays low when you think he's going to go down to your bar. Then he sneaks it up top. But also by staying that low, the round move for Orlando's also overhand right, left hook.
Just enough to let Paulino know that he's still in the fight. He's still here. And if Paulino had ever fallen into some kind of lull, that would wake him up, Ray. And maybe he might awaken the beast. Who knows? We'll see if Paulino turns up the pressure.
Oh, left hook to that body.
It looks like he's starting to pick up the pace again and get that foot on the pedal here. Halfway through round number 6. Keys landed what was probably his best punch of the fight. And now Paulino trying to get that body work going again and let those hands go.
Keys is definitely taking punches right here. The referee's on his toes and just waiting to jump in. But every time you think he's going to jump in, Keys comes back with something himself. He's not a quitter.
Keys came to fight, and Paulino is getting the work that he certainly wants, and he's by all means ahead on the scorecards and would love to finish the fight. But he's having himself a test here in these mid rounds. I think that's what you want to see. And if you're Paulino's corner, you want to see how he responds to this.
See, there goes Keys. He comes back with something all the time. Just when you think he's about to go out, he comes back with something of his own.
And Paulino really hasn't been too deep in the water in these fights, in these late rounds. So that in and of itself is a test. We have 30 seconds to go in round number 6.
Keep touching with the jab and overhand right. Walk with your hands. Keep walking. Jab away, let's go. Keep stepping to him.
And interesting enough, this is probably Keys' best round, Ray.
I was about to say, I think so far I got Keys winning this round with 10 seconds left. And it's one round out of 7, but he still won this round.
You know, from a mental standpoint, it's going to make Paulino think and readjust as he goes back to the corner. Paulino has had a handful of 6-round fights, and he's gone the distance in 2 of them. This is the first time that he is going to be fighting in the 7th round in his career. So
you see here,
keep an eye on that.
You know, Paulino's not using that jab,
Yeah.
and Keys is jumping over with his right hand. I mean, he took a bunch of combinations here, but as the round went on, Keys picks up on his own that right hand over the top. He's just not stopping. He just keeps throwing and throwing.
And as we've watched Paulino progress, we've never really had any reason to question the gas tank or the cardio. But now he's going into the 7th round for the first time in his career after having never been scheduled for an 8-round fight. And now he's being dragged into the 7th round by D'Angelo Keys. So it'll be very interesting to see how he looks coming on round 7. And if it goes 8, how he looks in round 8. We'll see if cardio is at all an issue. Knowing what the training regimen is at Big Six Boxing, I would guess it's not.
Like I said earlier, Paulino probably got 1% body fat, which a lot of people don't realize. That 1% body fat isn't that great when you're doing 8, 10, 12 rounds. Your body needs some fat to grab off of and feed. If it's not grabbing fat, it's going to start eating muscle, and that's when you get fatigue. Paulino is in great shape, but
no question,
probably too much muscle.
Round number 7 underway. This one's scheduled for 8. D'Angelo Keys hanging in there against Paulino. Paulino just pushed him down there. Ricky Gonzalez waving that one off. So it seemed like an early flurry, or which was an early flurry from Paulino. Keys has weathered that storm. And is now in the 7th round when it appeared that he may not even get through 4 or 5. So I give him a lot of credit for being where he is and had a very good round in round number 6 and probably feeling a little bit more comfortable in there. Would have a lot of work to do to try to win this fight based on how the first 2 rounds went. But if anything, maybe a moral victory in the end if he gets through all 8. We still have a lot of time to go. 5 full minutes to be exact if you count the last 2 rounds here. He's still letting his hands go. Paulino now getting a little more aggressive here.
Paulino walking him down.
Yes. Trying to go back to what worked so well in those early rounds, just stalking Keys down.
But Keys just keeps coming back and throwing.
Now, it goes without saying, you don't get 17 wins without having that ability, right? I mean, 17 wins no matter who they're against. That's a great accomplishment. It shows you the pedigree of fighter that D'Angelo Keys is, and you're seeing it with how he's responded to his own adversity in this fight.
I mean, by seeing the first 2 rounds, you think, I even said earlier, this fight ain't going to last probably but one more round, and he looks like he's going to go to a distance.
Nice shot there by Paulino, short right hook.
Is he getting hit with everything but the kitchen sink? Yes, but he's continuously throwing punches and coming back.
And look, by no stretch, the Big Six team would love to see Paulino get through an 8-round fight and see how he looks in the process. I mean, you do want to see it at some point. I think it's inevitable as your career gets further along that you're going to have to be wading in those waters at some point, so why not do it here?
TV loves knockouts.
Right.
But a W is a W. As long as you get that win, and an impressive win, TV will come. I mean, we got you on now.
And you know, with the landscape of this sport and how it's changed through the years, a lot of guys don't even take step-ups like this after 20 fights, never mind 15. No. So Paulino moving ahead of the curve and doing a nice job. Much slower pace here in this 7th round, but he's about to get through it as we get to the final 10 seconds. And again, Keys still coming forward, still hanging in there. Just showing you what a veteran of 20 fights does.
I mean, Paulino, it's weird seeing the last 15, 20 seconds, he jumped on his toes and bounced. Is he fatigued? I say yes, fatigued. Because he wants to sit there and throw bombs all day. Call me wrong, I don't care, but you throw bombs all day, you're going to wear yourself out. You got to learn to sit there and box sometimes. Too much muscle on the boxing. I honestly believe he has too much muscle.
So that begs the question, is there a pacing issue, perhaps, with Paulino moving forward? This is the first 8-round fight of his career. Did he maybe do a little too much in those early rounds to not pace himself properly for 8?
Paulino's been doing this in the beginning. I always said he sits down and throws too much power. I said it in the beginning. We do see improvement. Do I want more improvement? Yes, I do. I do. If you want to be world champion, you got to make big improvements. Little by little, yes, you're building your career. Now I need some big improvements. You got to stop sitting there throwing his bombs. You see him in the corner. He's trying to control his breathing. He's tired. Last round, he bounced, got out of there. He has to learn from this. He's learned from every fight, but I need big learning.
Here we go, 8th and final round in this super featherweight showdown. Alejandro Paulino in the red and white trunks taking on D'Angelo Keys in the black. And by all measures, Keys would need to land something big and flatten Paulino to get a victory in this fight. Paulino would also like to close the show and get knockout number 14 and victory number 16. He's well on his way to the victory part here. And again, though, you and I brought this up during the break, and we'll continue to hammer that point home about Paulino and what you can learn from a fight like this. Assuming this goes the distance and he gets the win on the cards like we expect, there's a lot to take from this fight and a lot to apply going forward. And this is a great, I think, a perfect fight for him to learn a little bit against an opponent that can challenge you, as you see right there.
Yeah. Well, we've been saying that Paulino's learning. He gets more impressive. I'm going to be the sour apple in the room. I need bigger improvement. I need to stop sitting there throwing nothing but bombs. No, you can't change what a fighter is. He's going to throw bombs all day, yes. But teach him, every punch don't have to be a bomb. You could touch, bomb. Touch, bomb. He just bombs. It's working for him so far. Hopefully it works for him when he gets to the 12 and 10 rounds.
Yes. Well, you mentioned the sour apple thing, but that's what every camp needs, right? You don't want 6 guys patting you on the back all the time. You got to have somebody who gives you the other viewpoint and says, well, okay, great, but you got to work on this, and that.
I tell people all in my gym also, and I train fighters, that I could be the bad cop, you be the good cop.
Hey, play the role you know best, right?
Exactly.
Halfway through this 8th and final round, Alejandro Paulino from the Big Six Boxing Academy taking on D'Angelo Keys. You're watching live on Swerve Combat. Still 3 more fights to go.
Hands up, Keys. Hands up.
Paulino trying to turn it up here in the final minute.
Keep working, got a hand free. Hands up.
Paulino a little bit bloodied here in this 8th round. May have sustained a cut possibly on the bridge of the nose.
Yeah.
Nice left hand there by Paulino. Big right by Keys to follow. So Keys, for what it's worth, will go down swinging one way or the other here.
He definitely is. He came to survive, and he is surviving. You know, is he going to get the win? Probably not, but he came to survive. He accomplished one thing.
I agree. Even if he doesn't get the victory, and it appears that he won't, I think it's a good comeback from the last fight.
Yeah.
From the loss that he suffered against the Olympian, to come back and go 8 rounds, 8 hard rounds after getting knocked down twice against a fighter like Paulino shows that he's still got something in the tank. And at 27, still a lot of time for Keys to turn his career around as well, as the final bell's about to sound. Very good fight right tonight. A lot of action from both sides.
Paulino did what he wanted to do. He came out, he walked the corner down, landed the big shots. He probably wanted to knock out, didn't get it, but like I said, a W is a W.
Exactly.
He's had moments in there where he looked good, like he was adding something to every round, but as he was doing that, he was losing rounds.
I think Keys provided the perfect test tonight for Paulino. Paulino was able to sustain some momentum in the early rounds. He had that big round where he had the 2 knockdowns in round number 4. And then Keys kind of got his second win a little bit in the later rounds and forced Paulino to adjust. And for the first time in Paulino's career, he had to fight a 7th and 8th round and get through an 8-round fight. So by every measure, I think it's an accomplished and it's a victory in a number of ways for Paulino, not just on the ledger, in other words, but he learned a lot tonight in the process, and I think these are the kind of learning lessons that going forward, in the next fight, you'll see what he applied and what he truly learned.
Like I said, I'll be the bad cop.
Ray will provide that at the end.
Exactly.
And listen, I agree with you, though.
He did what he's supposed to.
Yeah.
He came out with a W, hopefully. But you look fatigued in there. Not just during the fight, but in the corner. I watched the corners. I look and see how the fighters look. If it's an 8 round, my first 8 round, okay. Act like you're not tired. I tell my fighters, boxing's about acting. You act like you're not tired. Was I tired every 12 rounds I had throwing 1,000 punches? Yes. But I acted like I wasn't tired.
Well, and you're right. The mental part of it is so big as well, and not giving the illusion that you're tired. You want your opponent to see that and try to take advantage of that. And so I think that's a good lesson going forward for both sides, and certainly for Paulino. And we'll see what they come back with when they get back to the lab, so to speak, at the Big 6 Boxing Academy. It'd be very interesting to see what's next here at 16-0. You know, how many more fights at this level can you have at 25 years of age with 16 wins under your belt, assuming he gets that victory? We're about to find out in just a few moments. Both fighters embracing at the center of the ring, and with that, we're going to send it back up to Margaret Cresta, our ring announcer, who has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 tough rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Tom Schreck, Judge Max DeLuca, and Judge John McKay all see the belt the same. At 79-71, your winner by unanimous decision, Alejandro El Abusador Paulino!
There it is, 79-71 on all 3 scorecards. A predictable finish for Alejandro Paulino, who gets, at least on the scorecard appearance, a relatively easy victory. But you and I both know that he faced some adversity at times in this fight, but nonetheless comes out with the victory. Win number 16 in the books for Paulino.
Yes, like I tell my fighters all day. Today, celebrate you won. Be happy you won. I'll see you in a week in the gym. You see right now, Paulino was the bigger guy in the beginning. He was just busting around, just landing the body shots, power shots all day. A couple of times, Keys came back about something that surprised you. But then again, Paulino woke up, he came back with them big bombs, knocked him down 2 times that round there. And then as the round went on, you see Paulino, he died down, but he just kept coming forward in big punches.
I think we saw some of those defensive miscues from Paulino that we saw in some of his earlier fights kind of pop up time and time again here in this fight. A couple of times where he wasn't moving the head as much and Keys made him pay for it in the end. But however, Paulino still gets the victory. And I think I agree with you, Ray. You go back to the lab and you keep working on it. You've got a fighter here with a very bright future and so much road ahead of him at 25 years of age, already having 16 pro fights under his belt. Plenty more to come tonight as Alejandro Paulino improves to 16-0. We're ready to move on to the middleweight division.